Okay, first grade, we will be doing this beautiful little activity. This is our alphabet soup activity, and this is not just any alphabet soup. This actually, all of these letters spell out Miss Rucker's full name. So I randomly, that just means I placed my letters of my name however I wanted to on my piece of paper. I even did it sideways. I even did some upside down. I did uppercase. I did lowercase. I just mixed it all up. But every single one of these letters make up my name. So this is what we're going to be doing today. I also have this wonderful, lovely texture that I have behind all of my letters, and we will be doing that today as well. And tracing our letters with crayon. And then next week, we're going to watercolor right over this. So you will have a piece of paper, and you can do your paper this way, or you can do it this way. It's up to you. It doesn't matter, because you get to place these letters however you want. Now, to make these letters, we're going to be using our daubers. And remember, these are those tools that we use that we have to be very, very, very careful with, because if you squeeze it or if you push too hard, you're going to get drippy, yucky ink all over the place, and it's going to make a huge mess. You have to be very careful when you use these tools. There's a little sponge. Remember, there's a little sponge, and that's what fills up with ink. So what we're going to do is, I want you to, Miss Rucker's going to do her first name first, and my first name is Bonnie, so I need to use the letters B-O-N-N-I-E. And I'm just going to place those letters however I want on my page. So maybe I want a capital B here. Okay, and maybe I want my O over here. And maybe I want to flip my paper this way, and I want to put a capital N. And then maybe I want a lowercase n right here. And then I have an I, and I think I want to do a capital I. And then I have an E, and I think I want to do a lowercase e right here. It looks like a C, but that's okay. All right, and then Rucker. Rucker. So I think I'm going to turn my paper this way. I'm going to do a capital R. I think I want a U inside of my R. That's okay. I can do that. And then I need a C. I'm going to put a capital C. And I'm going to put the K inside of the C. You can be creative. You can do this however you want. I have some space here, so I think I have a lowercase e. I think I want a capital E. And then the very last letter of my name, Rucker, is an R, and I think I want a lowercase r, and I'm going to put my lowercase r right there. And so now I just have all of these random letters, but even though they're random, they actually spell out my name. So when you're done with that, you're going to come to carpet and you're going to watch the second half while this, the ink, dries. Okay? All right. You will have today these texture plates. And remember, these are, Miss Rucker calls them these are little naked crayons, because we've peeled off all the little paper. And this is what we use to roll the texture on our paper. I'm going to, now you can either use these, or I will also have a couple of different big texture plates at your table. If you want to use one of these, you could do this, and I'll show you both. I think I'm going to do this fish. So I'm going to put my fish under my paper. And I'm just going to get me I think I want a blue, because I want different colors. So I think I might do like half of him blue. So I'm going to start here, and remember, we have to put it on its side, on its belly. And you have to hold it tight. You can't roll it like this. You want to hold it tight, and you push, push. And then you've got this great texture, and look at that. I already kind of see a fish coming through. Does everybody see that? Okay, but I don't want just a blue fish. I want some different colors, so I think I'm going to do some red. And I think I want orange. Whoops, Miss Rucker. I want some orange, and I like that. It's very colorful. Now, if you want to use the texture plate, you could do that also. So I think I'm going to grab this little texture plate because I want texture all over my paper. So I'm just going to kind of put my little texture plate under here. And we've all used these in class, so you know how to use these texture plates. And I'm just going to, again, I got to hold my crayon tight. And I got to push. And I'm just going to go ahead. I don't want any white to show. I want my whole paper textured. Maybe I want a different color. Ooh, this is a pretty color. I'm going to texture my whole paper. Alright. And I'm not done because I really want my letters to stand out. So I'm going to pick me a color. I'm going to pick me, I think I want this orange. And I'm going to outline all of my letters. I'm going to press kind of hard. And I'm just going to kind of outline. And maybe I want to do a red. I'm just outlining my letters. Just making them stand out. I'm going around the letter, through the letter. Anything you want to do just to kind of make your letters stand out. Okay, I'm going to pause this. Okay, so I have done all of my letters. I've done texture in the background, and I've taken a crayon and I've just kind of outlined some of my letters just to make them stand out. And we may only get to this part today, but what we're going to do last is we're going to watercolor it. And when we watercolor this, the crayon is going to create what's called a resist. That means the watercolor is going to go right over the crayon, and it's only going to fill in the white spaces. That way all of our crayon will just pop right out and show through the pretty watercolor. We're going to be using blue watercolor. And what you're going to do is you'll have a paintbrush that looks like this. You will dip it in your watercolor, and you're just going to keep the ballerina on her tippy toes, and you're going to brush on the watercolor. Now, do you see how Miss Rucker's paintbrush is getting scratchy? That means I need to dip it in the water again. I want to keep my paintbrush nice and wet. I want to get all my edges. You can turn your paper around however you feel comfortable. I can even do great big sweeps. That's okay. I want to make sure I get all my white. See how that crayon is just pushing that water right off. It's so cool. So when you're done, I want to make sure I get all my white spaces. I don't want any white spaces to show. And you see how I'm just kind of moving that water around. Just move it around. That color, the crayon is going to push it. It's going to push it out of the way so you can just move it on to the next white space. Perfect. And when you're done, you want to make sure you sweep through any puddles. If you have any puddles, you want to actually move those. Move them. We don't want a lot of puddles on our paper. Do you see how Miss Rucker don't have any gloppy puddle monsters on my page? I've smoothed all that watercolor over. Very good. Okay, and when you're done, you should have a paper that looks about like this, but it's going to have your name on it. You're going to bring this to the drying rack, get a wipe, clean your hands, clean your mat. Have fun.